G'day folks, this is Greg Judy at Green Pasture Farm. Today I am back on Green Pasture Farm. Jan and I just got back yesterday from Ireland, and we were gone. And we left on the 31st and we got back on the 15th, so half a month, a little over. Yeah, we did a grazing. I gave a grazing talk over there at the Glenarm Castle. It's the first regenerative grazing conference that was held in Ireland, Northern Ireland, and a great time. We had a good crowd. They ended up with a lot more people than they thought they were going to get, which is always good when you're holding a conference. And yeah, we finally made it home. We had a we had a real day yesterday. We got to the airport 3 hours ahead. Actually, 3 hours and 40 minutes ahead of our flight. But you know, we're international. We figured we'd, go through customs and all that. It'd take a little bit longer, but we came into Dublin. There wasn't that many. It didn't look like, it sure wasn't Dallas-Fort Worth. It wasn't that kind of crowd. Anyway, unbeknownst to us, the power went out at about 7:30 yesterday morning. Well, it's between 7:30 and 8 in Dublin. And we noticed at the hotel that the lights flashed. And they're only off for maybe, I don't know, it wasn't very long, but the airport was off for about 2 hours. The generators couldn't keep up. And so you talk about people being stacked up. I've never in my life been in a line like what we encountered yesterday. It was crazy. I mean, there was, I'm gonna guess, probably 10,000 people. And a lot of those are going to the United States. There's a lot of tourists from the United States that go to Ireland. I found that out yesterday. Anyway, we knew we were still in the line at 12 o'clock and the flight left at 12:40, that we were not going to make that flight, but we also figured everybody in that line was on that flight. And that's what happened. So they didn't end up leaving Dublin until 3 o'clock. But we stood in the line for 6 hours. Finally got to the terminal. I mean, there was just so many people, they couldn't let them all go at once, so they would have swamped. It'd been like pouring a 50-gallon barrel into a teacup and expecting the teacup to hold the flow. It couldn't do it. So they were on top of that part. They made all these lines, and we go through one section. We thought we were in the airport. Nope. There was another hour and a half of waiting and walking, moving forward. And anyway, it's just one of those deals. It is what it is. When you're farming, you get into stuff like that. It is what it is. And anyway, we really enjoyed our time in Ireland. Met so many awesome people, farmers, and just kudos to all you folks that hosted us. And we got to see a lot of farms, and just again met some genuinely beautiful, wonderful people, farmers. And everybody is trying to do the best they can with what they've got. And Ireland's just a beautiful place. It's plain and simple. But back to the bulls. This is our yearlings, and there are, we put the machos back in here, and we took them out of the cow herd. There's 5 of them in here, 2 and 3 year olds, and those will be semen checked. I'm sorry, taken semen. We're gonna pull some straws off our, what we think are some of the best ones that had the highest sperm count. They all held under the weight really well. So you just put them all in a basket and toss it up in there. They're all really good bulls. We're out of semen. We don't have much left on semen straws, and you can buy semen from our bulls by going to our website, greenpasturesfarm.net. And we have the semen collection is Cattle Visions. It's right here at the end of this blacktop. So we just bring them in there, which we make an appointment. Bulls go in, they get collected, and we bring them back. So they don't even spend the day. They only spend like 2 or 3 hours in there. Again, very fortunate to have that. And just, kudos to Cattle Visions. They're a wonderful organization to work with. If you're thinking about doing semen on some of your bulls, I would highly recommend Cattle Visions. They do a good job. They take care of all the shipping, they store it for you, and they get a percentage of that. Of course, they can't do it for free, and they collect them. There's a collection fee as well, but it's worked well for us. Obviously, we're selling a lot more semen than we ever thought we would. Here is the red clover. Folks, you think we're going to have some seed? Look at this. I mean, it's all in here. Since we left, excuse me, August 31st, it hasn't rained. And we're on the 16th now, and it's been hot. It's been up in the upper 80s. And I had a struggle to get a post in the ground. I mean, it wasn't a real struggle, but you had to kind of had to work it in, And so today I gave him this driveway. I figured out a way to do it on that side. All summer we have been able to graze that side because we have a line of post here. And I like leaving this driveway open so that when the owner comes in here, owners, Doug and Joanne, they can drive right down this driveway. Well, I figured out how to do it. So I'm not going to go into how I did it, but it took a little brain power, but I did it. And so they can graze this. This hasn't been grazed all summer long because every time we came through here, I couldn't get them over there. There's a fence right there all the way down. I got the bales fenced off, and I got the trailer fenced off where they can't rub on the landowner's trailer. That's what the bulls do. They like rubbing on stuff. And you don't think anything about it till you come back and you see that they've rubbed something and maybe broke something, or, the plug in there for the brakes on that trailer. Maybe they chewed the cord off of it. You got to think about things like that, folks. When you move them into an area where there's any kind of implement or a trailer, just put a hot wire around it. And that way they can't rub on it. But the bulls for yearlings, they all look really good. 95% of these are yearling bulls and steers. We are going to have some steers for sale. We're going to be selling them in the spring. We may sell a few this fall. They won't be finished until spring. But if you're needing something to graze this fall and winter, and cows are pretty pricey right now, and you just need something to graze, I guarantee you won't find anything better than these. And I promise you won't find anything gentler either. And these animals are just gentle as dogs. And that's because they've been moved every day since they were a baby calf. They don't pay attention to us. Well, there's a nice bull. Whew. We got some really nice bulls in here. I can't wait to see what they look like as 2-year-olds. That's a little steer right there. That would be a late summer last year steer. So he's just now probably about 9-10 months old. I'm going to show you what I did here. So I came up here this morning, and Joel and Isaac, they did a masterful job of taking care of our livestock. I can't commend them enough. I just can't. Words can't describe how well a job those two young men did while we were gone. The animals look good, the pastures look good. Nothing died. They took care of it like I was here. It's just like me taking care of it. Isaac has learned far beyond his years. I mean, Isaac's 22, I think. He may turn 23. Time goes by so quick. I think he's 22. But, he's got the mindset of a very, very seasoned ranch manager. And we are so fortunate to have him part of our farm. And Joel's just unbelievable as an intern. I mean, he's awesome as well. He picked it up really well, and we've handed off a lot of responsibility to Joel, and he has not disappointed us. He's got a really good head on his shoulders. Super. But anyway, So the bulls are on this paddock today. The water's back over here, but I saw this spot right here, and it's been beat up. It's close to the water, and I'm like, you know what? They don't need to be on here anymore. So what I'm gonna do is I made a circle right here. I started there. I went around the area that's just beat to death up here. Well, it's not beat to death, but there's a lot of manure. Okay, they don't need to be putting any more manure right here. And so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make a circle here right in front of that water tank up there. So they can come in on this side or they can come in on that side, but they can't lounge and lay right here and poop and pee anymore. They don't need to be doing that because I've got poop spots about every 2 feet right here. I mean, there's poop all over right here. And so when you see something like this building up, folks, it doesn't take, it took me maybe 5 minutes to put this ring of post all the way around this area. And you can see from the grass there, it's tromped pretty good. And I'm just gonna run it right down the driveway, back over here. It's not gonna be hot. It's not even gonna be hot. But guess what? For a day or two, or even a week, they're not gonna touch it because they're used to getting zapped with 8,000 volts when they got up next to it. So there's my reel. I can't hook it here, otherwise the animals can't get water from this side. So I'm gonna bring it back and go over to this post, then walk it right back down to that other post where the bulls are. So it's basically a circle in front of my water. I wanted to show you, I'm telling you what, folks, this little pad we put in right here, we put this in the wintertime. Did that in about 2 hours. It's got geotextile underneath it. And this is 1.5 inch clean rock. Looks like it did have some other rock in it. It might have been 1.5 inch minus. 1.5 inch minus is 1.5 inch rock all the way down to dust. I think that's what this was. 8x8s that we sawed on our sawmill. Those are cedar, never gonna rot. And then we put fiberglass post to keep them in place where the cattle can't kick them out. And we made a V right here in front of this water tank. And then we also put these posts in to keep the bulls from flipping it over. This old tank is, let's see, 24, 25, 26, 27. It's 28 years old. It's seen its better day. But you know what? It still works, and I'm gonna keep using it until it cracks completely. The rim's about busted off of it. I tried to preserve it, but you know, you can only patch it so many times. But anyway, the water's coming from that shed over there. There's a hydrant inside that shed. And so we're going above ground, hooking in here, Job Megaflow. There's about 50 PSI on a 5/8 inch garden hose. Goes across the driveway here. And because Doug is going in and out of here with heavy vehicles, put a 2x4 on each side of that, of your Flexzilla. That's the hose we're using there. That's called the Flexzilla. It's a great hose. And then it goes right inside here. And we went underneath the shed right there. And there it is. So, yeah, it's 50 feet. That's a 50-foot garden hose. It might be a 70. I think it might, yeah, I think it is a 75-footer. Anyway, I love Flexzilla. They're non-kinking. They don't have, if you get a latex, just forget it. They're gonna crack on you. Cattle step on them, whatever. They just don't last, but the Flexzilla lasts a long time. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and grab my reel, make my circle here, and head off to the next spot, and we'll see y'all next time. And I'm gonna be selling some sheep. I've got a friend that's he's on the Indiana-Ohio border, and he got a flock of sheep from us, and he's had these for, gosh, 13 years. And he sells, I sold a group out of there last year, nice sheep. He uses the same management protocol we do. Hot wire broke, no worming, no antibiotics, all grass, no grain. And there's a couple guard dog puppies, and there may be one guard dog attached to this sale. But just check it out. If you're signed up for our newsletter, you'll get a notice. And to get signed up for that newsletter, you can go to our website, greenpasturesfarm.net, and just click on that link and you can get signed up. So we're also going to be selling some South Pole heifers, and those are coming out of a friend of mine. They're using our bull, and they're up in North Missouri. Well, these are going to be some good ones. I mean, beautiful. So anyway, oh, and also one more plug. Isaac and I are going to Minnesota to the grazing school at George Heller's farm. And to find out more about that, if you just do a YouTube search on George Heller, you'll come up with the link. He's got it there on his, he's been plugging it on his YouTube channel, George Heller. And yeah, maybe we'll see some of y'all there. Isaac and I are coming up there. It's gonna be a 2-day, some good food and some good other good speakers there, and we'll see y'all up in northern Minnesota. Have a good one. Take care.